Hamjambo everyone, how are you doing? Welcome back to Beyondcoqun, where I document how I step out of my comfort zone and grow into something more than my 4 bedroom walls. If you're new here, feel very welcome, and if you haven't come across day one of this 2-part series, I recommend you to pause this and go watch it first because only then you can get the full circle of what's going on here. And if you're back, you already know day one was just a tip of the iceberg. Because honestly, day two had 13 sessions, and I attended 7 of them. If I was to describe these 2 days, day one would be orientation because day two was total immersion. Some improvements from the prior day made my arrival seamless this time because it didn't feel as strange. I literally boarded the public bus much earlier after witnessing the previous day's delay. And remember how I said I couldn't do the walk from the drop off stage to the location? Well, I actually did, and achieving 10,000 steps got nothing on me. Since this is a tight security area, I couldn't record myself jolly walking to the UNEP HQ. But the day itself felt so light in so many ways. I reflected on this as I checked in, ready to absorb everything, even the environmental jargon that scared me to death the day before. With me, I had my notebook, I had my water, and my confidence was higher than Jack's beanstalk. I bet this was something about surviving the Montreal Protocol that had me feeling like this. Before we dive in, if you want a deeper breakdown of everything I mentioned here, I've linked a beginner-friendly mini report on my website Sustainablydotus under Initiatives on the Resources tab. Now that that's done with, get your shovels ready and let's get digging on day 2. The very first session that opened the day for me was Generation Restoration. I totally loved this one because it felt like someone had just handed me a baton and said, "Start where you are." So here is a quick breakdown. There's currently an ongoing global mission called the UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration, and its timeframe is between 2021 and 2030. The goal: to prevent, halt, and reverse damage to ecosystems worldwide. And the interesting part is, young people are not just included, we're needed, and this is what generation restoration is all about. So, what does this look like in real life? Let's bring it home. Under the Generation Restoration campaign, we have one hashtag running called Food Challenge. This is where young people take part in restoring ecosystems in ways that improve food production, hence food security. For instance, if your backyard has arable land, and by arable I mean you can grow crops on it, this could be your starting point of contributing to food security either in your home or community. Of course, engage in the activity with the right guidance, such as the right crops or the right planting methods. Moving on to one of my favorite sessions across both days, the Environment Policy Workshop. This was a very interactive and practical session. I literally learned how to use the Iceberg Model to understand environmental problems, and it changed how I think. The idea in simple terms explains problems in layers. At the very top, this is what we see. There's plastic waste, air pollution, and chemicals. Below that, we have patterns that include mass production, cheap manufacturing, and fast consumption. Under fast consumption, I discovered fast fashion is a thing And Sustainably.us actually started from this realization. The next level of the model explored deeper structures such as policies and systems that allow harmful products into everyday life. Finally, at the very bottom, we have mindsets. These are old systems that don't prioritize the environment. And the biggest takeaway for me here was if we only fix what's visible, we'll keep cleaning up the same mess every single day. I hope we ain't tired of digging because the next session introduced the Global Waste Management Outlook for Youth, which is a report designed for youth people to help us understand waste and actually act on it. This aligns so well with Sustainably.us's mission on sustainable consumption and production. Then along came another session highlight, the launch of Youth to Beat Pollution. This builds on UNEP's Beat Pollution campaign, but this time with youth at the center. One key idea that really stood out for me was intergenerational inclusion. This translated to considering the generations that will live with consequences of decisions being made about pollution today. And the last shovel dig of day 2 was an opportunity the youth can explore. So, what is this? Green jobs and the green transition. A representative from the International Labour Organization talked about integrating green skills into schools, training centers such as TVETs in Kenya, and MSMEs. This would allow a smooth transition to a green economy that we already see working in the energy sector. And just so we're clear, a green job is any job that helps preserve or restore the environment. As simple as that. This made so much sense to me since we're living in a world with limited resources. Building skills that don't deplete the already limited resources is such an optimal way to go. I urge the youth to find pathways they can take part in the future of green economy. Okay, and that was enough digging for day 2. I was full of information, full of perspective, and full of momentum. I hope you are too after watching this. If there's one thing you can take away from both days, it is the fact that we are facing a triple planetary crisis, and that is climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution. This is not a future problem, my dear. It's happening right now. The hopeful part is that young people are not waiting. They showed up fully, they spoke up, they created solutions, and for 2 days I got to be in that space as a beginner, still figuring things out, and that alone was powerful. If anything you've heard here resonates with you and you want to go deeper as a beginner, I've created a free mini report on the sustainably.us website under initiatives on the resources tab. I've also shared more insights on Medium and Substack. The links are available in bio. Please make sure to follow, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts on the platform you're most comfortable with. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for caring enough to learn about what's happening around us. Kwaheri, tuonane kwa wakati mwingine.